Hello everyone, my FlareBlitzed here, and we have returned back to our lovely escape on Lissa's route in the game. Later in the day, I found Lissa holed up in her office, typing away as she contacts various game journalists asking them to review our game. Also, we may get some sort of award here since we're here now. To help her with her duties, I decided to investigate where all of the game's present traffic is coming from. I accessed a site tracker and, to my surprise, immediately noticed that most of the storefront traffic is coming from those two places. If this were an emoji or something along those lines, this would be fine, but that isn't the case. It's a sweet, fluffy Otome game with a completely different target audience. I swiftly head over to Lissa's office. From the outside I can see her mulling over reviews and game evaluations. I knock on the door. Lissa, do you have a moment? I need to talk to you. She rises from her seat, unlocks the door and invites me inside. Hello. Yes, Flare, what is it? Unless it's important, please make it short. I have my hands full at the moment. No problem, it's only a quick question. Have you checked the traffic statistics for our latest release? But that makes sense. All of the hits are coming from bots, adult gaming sites, pirating sites, obscure adult forums, and some are even from live cam sites. Isn't this crazy? I don't know what's going on. This isn't an 18+ game. Do you have any idea about what might have happened? There is nothing to worry about. No harm has been done to anyone. If people are pirating the game or finding about it through those sites, so be it. That's all I have to say on the matter. Are you sure about that? You might not realise it, but this could seriously affect people's perception of the studio. As far as I'm aware, no impact has been made as of yet. Sales are booming, and I announced in your meeting several hours ago. Hands on her hips, Lissa continues to affirm her point. In fact, the studio may benefit from this attention. It proves that there's significant interest in the game. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, but that's kind of like the wrong kind of attention, you know. If you say so, I'm only here to tell you what I found. Sure, thank you for bringing it to my attention. I don't want to waste your time, so I'll get back to work now. I'll talk to you later, okay? Yes, talk to you after work. Will you be doing that show? Okie dokie. I shut the door behind me and make my way back to my desk with no more concerns to rise. I continue working smoothly until the end of the workday. I pick up my belongings and am heading out to the door when suddenly I hear Lissa call out for me from behind. Flare, wait a moment. I still have one last task for you today. It's important. Okay, what is it? Continue working as you were before for a bit longer. Please. It's a surprise. Sure. As a woman escorts me back to my desk, I spot Maya and Alexis leaving for the night. See you later, peeps. Bye, Flare, Lissa. Goodbye. I'll see the two of you tomorrow morning. Okay. As the other women disappear, Lissa clings onto my arm. It's just you and me now, Flare, my good little rider. She then returns to her office. I continue mindlessly slaving away at menial writing tasks, pretending I'm productive while I await further instruction from Lissa. The automatic lights above me shut off. I turn around to see if she's monitoring me from afar, but there's not a single other soul present. Even the lights in Lissa's office are turned off. I continue to investigate, but there's no one anywhere I can find. You mean no one else anywhere I can find? I don't know. At last, the doorbell suddenly rings. With nothing else to do, I decide to answer it. Standing out front, I find a delivery man standing on the steps, fitting with a banquet of flowers. I have a delivery for this address, please sign here. I notice Lissa's name on the invoice and take that as a cue that this is the correct address. Thank you. The man hands me the banquet and promptly scurries down the stairs. Meanwhile, I'll bring the flowers into Lissa's office. I'll step into the dark room and leave them on her desk. Aww, what's going on now? This is such a surprise. Wait, that was eyes closed. The door suddenly slams shut behind me. I jump in fright and turn, only to find Lissa standing there with a smirk. Lissa, where did you... She steps closer with her hands behind her back. The flowers are for you, my dear Flare. That's a surprise. Aren't they just beautiful? Her dark hair glimmers in the faint light as her eyes twinkle with adoration. Ah, these are beautiful and they're great. But why flower of all things? Shouldn't I be the one to send you flowers? Hehe, Flare, you can be so silly sometimes. The woman pulls a long, intricately wrapped package of chocolate out from behind her back and hands it to me. Ah, this is your reward for being my good little boy yesterday. Oh, thanks? Do you understand how I feel about you now? You're as beautiful as the brightest flower, as sweet and delicate as the tastiest chocolate. Okay. All of this is for you, my dear Flare. All of this is to make you happy. Thank you? Lissa skips over to my side, hugs me, and then plants a kiss on my forehead. You're everything that I could have ever asked for. I'm so glad I've got to met you all those years ago. Although I'm still weirded out by the gifts, in a way I'm touched. Too, I'm grateful for meeting Lissa. Me too? The woman smiles before moving away from me. That'll be all for now. Enjoy the flowers and chocolate. I'll see you tomorrow, Flare. Right. See you. She leaves me in the dark without so much as a kiss but goodbye. I grab my gifts and close the office alone, ready to make my way home for the night. What waits in store for today? It's been weeks since Lissa and I started dating. So far it's been an interesting yet wild ride. During the daytime and weekdays, not much happens between us. I work as diligently as I can to create new scripts for the studio's future projects. Lissa attends to her duties as a manager, only calling on me occasionally to check on my work progress. There are of course times when she'll discreetly steal my attention. If the coast is clear, she might pamper me with words of praise. It's not even quite clear what boundaries, if any, we've established to ensure the separation of our professional and private lives. Of course, Lissa hasn't given me enough of a voice to bring up my desires or concerns. Nothing is stopping her from pulling me around like I'm on a leash. Most notably, whenever she visits my apartment, our relationship devolves into a purely physical one because I don't know how else to satisfy her needs. Okay, one can only take so much mindless obedience, yet no matter how much I want to make things right, I can't think of a way to close the gap between Lissa and myself in a way that will make both of us happy. She refuses to see me as her equal, as a loving boyfriend who wants to take care of her. I, on the other hand, want to see her as more than just my manager, and yet she can't break free of her obsession with authority, even at home. Despite all the flaws in our relationship, there's a lot that I love about Lissa. In some ways, it's baffling that she makes me feel so important. The fact that someone as intelligent, gorgeous and passionate as Lissa finds value in me gives me purpose. I can only wish that someday I can prove to her that I'm far more than the scrawny kid from down the block. Sometime in the early morning, Lissa invites the team to an unofficial meeting. Hello again. Pardon me for interrupting your work, but I have an important announcement to make. If you all would come to my office, I will brief you on the situation. Could you get any Vega, boss? A little rundown beforehand would be nice. You can hear the details in the proper order. Whatever it is, I hope it's good news. I assure you that it is, Mayu. Aww. The four of us stroll into Lissa's office and she shuts the door behind us. So, what's my news? I really hope it's as good as you say it is. Lissa grins and pulls me over to her side in front of her desk. What? That's the good news. That is the good news. What? Have you thought about this long and hard, Lissa? This is not something you can just openly share in the office. Okay. Flare and I are in a relationship. We've been dating for a couple of weeks. Tell me something I don't already know. Mai doesn't seem too surprised either, but is visibly unhappy about the news. Unfair. I never imagined that things would turn out this way, but it's gone as spectacularly as a relationship can go. Most importantly, in case you're concerned, it hasn't got in the way of either of our work ethics. They both know from when we last had a meal together that bloody hell, Lissa, you just had to try and spoon feed me. What a way to cover your ass. I mean, you're already using Flare as an excuse to bend your own rules. I'll have you know that our relationship came about naturally. We couldn't hide our feelings for one another any longer. Is that right, Flare? Part of me wants to refuse to answer. There's no reason for us to prove to Alexis that our relationship is real deal. The other half, however, wants to affirm the promise I made to Lissa. Yes, I asked Lissa to be my girlfriend because I want to be with her. Still don't believe you. Seems more like you're role-playing to me, but whatever, you do you. I guess, just leave me out of it. Of course, we intend to maintain our stance of professionalism indefinitely. We have a perfect relationship after all. The woman wraps her arms around my shoulders and Alexis immediately looks away from a display of affection. Bloody hypocrite, I've had enough of this. Redhead storms out of the office. I hope your relationship goes well. Mayu dismisses herself from the room as well. It's just you and me now, Flare. Out of everyone in this office, you are the only one who truly understands how I feel. Only you would never leave my side. She tightens her grips on my shoulders. Yeah, well, shouldn't we get back to work? Yes, you're right. Of course you are, my good little worker. You can return to your work whenever you're ready. Okay, I'll talk to you later. That's not good news, okay? Lunchtime passes relatively uneventfully. The usually four of us sit down together, but no one speaks much. Alexis in particular ignores Lissa, presumably out of resentment. I can't blame her for acting that way, although I don't completely understand why she's taking things so seriously. In the afternoon, I continue to work on hashing out an outline for our next title. Flare, my dear, I absolutely love watching you work diligently. I peer over my shoulder to find Lissa standing there. Oh, hey Lissa, what do you need? Oh, great. Please come to my office when you have a moment. I have something amazing to show you. Something amazing, you say? Is it another surprise? It's something along those lines, although I'd like to think it's a lot better than last time. Do you have a moment right now? I'd really like to show you. I nod before following this into her office. This feels like a very abysmal situation here. Once we're inside, she closes the blinds and dims the light. What are you doing? People still know we're in here. Making the room darker will only make it look like we're doing something suspicious. I'm well aware that isn't the point. What matters most to me right now is you. Just you. She pulls me over to the desk, but my left hand sitting me down in front of a monitor which is currently turned off. There is no need to feel alarmed by what I'm about to show you, alright? I want you to relish every I feel like I know where this is going and I'm not comfortable with this at all. Lissa reaches towards the power button and turns the monitor on. A list of videos and thumbnails appear on the screen, all from an account that goes by the name FlareBlitzed. Oh, okay. No thanks. If you pronounce that out loud, I think you get quite a very vague idea as to what she's going on about. The page is riddled with an obnoxious layer, along the top and side. That. Why are you showing me this? Woman ignores me, instead scrolling the cursor over a video somewhere in the middle of the page, one that was recorded just 2 weeks ago, approximately 2 days after the release of our most recent game. Most importantly, it was uploaded the same day I finally entered a relationship with Lissa, the day that represents our relationship's anniversary. The older videos have inconsistent upload dates, usually twice a week or so. The newer videos, however, seem to be come one or even twice a day. Lissa finally plays a video. A familiar figure slinks in front of a camera, dressed entirely in black. Only a small lamp in the corner of the room illuminates the scene, setting the mood appropriately. Even with a mask on, that long radiant hair and a beautifully slim... Okay, unmistakable. Welcome back, everyone. Licks you. Oh, gosh. No thanks. I'm not reading that out loud again. Now, I know you're all excited to see... Okay. It's just what the summer heat does to me. Lissa leans closer to me. I mean, I guess. Damn it. Doesn't this do that to you, Flare? Yes it does. Good, keep watching. As the video continues, Lissa leans in even closer. How does it make you feel to know all of those strangers? Every 20,000 of them got off while watching me do that. Although I'm tempted to continue watching the erotic performance, I turn away from the screen. I'm confused, baffled and shocked, amongst countless other emotions. You love it, don't you? After all, I am in here with you, and not one of them has the privileges that you do. When did you start this? When was your first webcam session? So this is what means by Lissa's Patreons and petitioners. This is what she was referring about. And it wasn't something that was entirely ordeal, or something that you can share with your family, let's just say. I started right after I graduated high school, more specifically after I broke up with my ex, the summer before I left for college. Our relationship was so unsatisfying and fleeting. Well, you knew him too. We just weren't compatible in any sense of a word. The only connection we had was the... Okay. That was when I entered the world of camming to seize control of my body again and to rediscover the feeling of being truly desired. Out of everyone though, you're the one who makes me feel the most wanted. It's hard for me to wrap my head around everything. The words twisted and perverse come to mind, but it's hard to tell if they aren't simply my own prejudice or not. Ouch. Eventually my parents found out and disowned me. They couldn't bear the thought of their lovely, studious daughter becoming one of those, as they put it. So I left. I wanted nothing to do with our hometown. The only reason I ever felt at home to begin with was because you lived there, honestly. Camming became everything I wanted to identify with. No one would complain about me or judge me. Everyone was compliment with my needs. It filled a hole in my heart where romance used to be. Even then, none of that can compare to what we have. The way you watch everything I do, just like you're doing now, you have no idea. Okay, no thanks. As the video ends, Lissa grabs me by the shoulders and turns me around on a chair, donning the very same black mask from the video. She smiles lustfully. What are you planning to do to me? I am so glad you asked. The woman reaches towards the computer mouse and I instinctively follow her movement with my eyes. A single click reveals a video feed of Lissa standing behind me in the dark office. You've been streaming us this entire time? What the heck? We're in your office, for Christ's sake. Have you no shame? Oh, don't worry, Flare dear. It's recording, but we aren't live yet. We won't go online until I hear your answer. Why is this an option? Yeah, but no buts. Yes, and I can't explain why, but this somehow makes Lissa all the more attractive in my eyes. If this is something that makes her happy, it makes me happy too. I'll accept, but only on one condition. What would that be? I want a mask too. The woman's face glows with sudden delight. You love it just as much as I do, Don't worry, I am always well prepared. She opens her desk drawer to reveal various stuff. She fishes around and pulls out a white mask. I got this just for you. I made sure it'll fit you perfectly. It is indeed a perfect fit, considering this is Lissa I'm talking about. It's no surprise. It looks great on you, as I expected. Now, the webcam show will start shortly. Stand in the corner and get ready to come in when I tell you. You can take over your... Okay. I want this to be perfect just the way I like it. Let's make this something we'll both remember. Okay. Right. We finish up... Okay. Hoping we at least look somewhat presentable, then we fix the desk back to its initial arrangement. Well, how are you feeling, Flare? I've never been better, thanks for asking. Hehe, you certainly know how to make a woman feel incredible. Out of nowhere, Mayu barges into the office and turns on the lights. Sorry to interrupt, but I have something for you, Lissa. The brunette places a file onto the desk. Thank you, Mayu. I'll be sure to get to it as soon as possible. You're welcome. I'll be going now. She scurries out of the office, her expression making it clear that she knows what just happened between Lissa and me. Yeah, the windows are closed, the blinds are closed. What the hell is going on? Holy sheesh. We never locked the door. What if everyone in the office knows by now? Please, you don't need to be so nervous. There's nothing to worry about. My employees can work responsibly on their own, and they know when not to enter my office. I can't tell if that statement is utterly messed up or wicked hot. How could they possibly know such a thing? Lissa couldn't have possibly planned this entire thing so elaborately. Could she have? After all, this isn't the first time that's happened. Oh, what? Come again? You can't be serious, right? Do I look like I'm lying to you? You're my boyfriend, and I want to be able to tell you everything. No lies or omissions. Before I hired you... You know what? That's hot. You dated them at the same time? Oh, of course not. Alexis is far too self-centered to be able to share a partner. Let me finish what I was saying. I dated Alexis first, while we were living together, and then Mayu after her. So, you currently work with two of your exes, and they're your subordinates. Doesn't that strike you as kind of peculiar? It sounds like the complete opposite of what a good manager should do. Okay. I can only trust someone I've seen that when I see them at their most vulnerable. I'm fairly sure you don't need to go that far to trust someone. Call it the ultimate loyalty test. What about me then? I mean, you make it sound like you didn't trust me this entire time. Not until we had that. No, you were an exception to the rule. Besides, I've known you for a lot longer than anyone else. I knew you were in love with me from the bottom of your heart. But Alexis, she's different. She can only become loyal to me once we okay. Despite her flaws, I saw her for who she was. Someone who could look out for me. Now that you bring it back up, I'm curious. How does that relationship start? I was already friends with Alexis before we decided to move in together, you know. Once we lived together though, we developed such a close emotional bond. From there on, the natural conclusion was that we should date each other. Every morning was a blessing to wake up to. We'd plan out the day together, trying to create a beautiful, successful future. It was essentially our relationship that gave birth to the studio. Although I was officially the one who founded the studio, we were to be business partners as well as lovers. Also, I thought until I realised how irresponsible and immature she could be. What happened? The more I got to know her, the more I found her unworthy of my love. Just like my... Okay. When she found out about my work, she was disgusted. But well, I suppose we got even in the end. In the same vein, I found out that she was a freeloading, good-for-nothing criminal. Criminal? If you wish to know more, you'll have to ask her about it yourself. It isn't my place to say anymore. Right, about the manslaughter thing. But you know, that is accidental. But still doesn't make it any better. I broke things off with her as soon as I found out. Even though I stuck by her through it all. I ensured she had the best legal help so that her sentence would be reduced, and now she happily continues to work for me. Happily seems like a bit of an overstatement. That's simply how I see things. Alexis needs me as much as you do. I understand what she means, but I owe her for giving me this job. I want to be here without her after all. Maya, on the other hand, came to enjoy my company more than I expected. I took her on as a kind of protege, and soon a relationship blossomed between us. Unfortunately, I had envyings when she became a bit too possessive for my liking. Oh dear. Possessive is one way of putting it. Well, what could possibly resist your witty charms and gorgeous... Okay, I know I couldn't. Yeah, you as adorable as ever, Flare. It's hard to believe that Lissa's company contains so much conflict of interest. It's unheard of that anyone would shelter themselves in a network of exes in order to be successful. Yet, because it's Lissa, I can't help but want to trust her. Well, if you don't need anything else, you can get back to work whenever you're ready. Alright, I think twice a day is good enough for me. I'm sure you'll be begging for more later. Not today. I open the door and leave the office even though no one cares to snoop into our business. It feels awkward to walk back to my desk. Like I'm taking a walk of shame. And so you should. This is where animosity comes into the workplace. The rest of the day passes without incident. Lissa's invitation to office becomes a hallmark in our relationship. From that moment on, she's acknowledged me as the independent adult that I am, an equal who can fulfill her desires for where I want her to see me. We continue our play dates in the evening, recording however many scam sessions Lissa wishes on a given day. I quickly lose any semblance of shame or embarrassment. On work days, I prove myself to be the best damned writer she's ever hired. I work not only for the company's sake, but for our success as a couple. Lissa's dream to make Otome games relatable, digestible, and popular soon becomes my own. However, like any storybook, our romance isn't perfect. For every knight in shining armor, an enemy is creeping in the shadows. For every wayward princess, there is anguish and suffering. We have arguments and misunderstandings just like any other couple. There are times when the past and present seem to get all tangled up. Even so, we always work through our problems together. After months of dating, I decided we're at the point where I want to make everything official. On the morning of our anniversary, I prepare all of the festivities before Lissa arrives at work. Shh, stay at your post, she's almost here. Slowly and steadily, Lissa climbs up the stairwell, her steps echoing in the distance. She opens the door to find the lights off, with no one in sight. Hello? Is anyone here? What happened to all of my employees? As Lissa walks over to my desk, a slideshow plays on a projector aimed at the wall, showing photographs of various moments she and I shared. Nights out at the pier watching the sunset and celebrating the success of our first co-directed game. Oh my! She stares in awe as each moment passes by. Then I rose from the shadows, walking down the hallway with a candle and note in hand. Flare, what is this? I recite a passage from our most recently released game we've published. This is the guarantee of my love for you. I vow and I never stray, for you are my most esteemed guest, and you will always have a home in my heart. If you remember where that line comes from, I actually wrote it with you in mind. Flare, that's so sweet. No, that is indeed the sweetest thing that can occur. Shaking with anticipation, I barely remembered to kneel and open the ring box I've been hiding behind my back. Lissa, will you marry me? The woman instantly bursts into tears, although she does her best to brush them away. Why am I crying? Oh dear, this is just too much for me. I don't want you to see me like this. You look beautiful to me all the same. Oh, Flare. Yes, I'll marry you 1,000 times, yes. I slide the diamond ring onto her finger as she laps into my arms and... Everyone, Suddenly the whole office jump out of their respective hiding spots with signs of congratulations, flowers and chocolates. Oh my god, Lissa, you said yes! I'm so happy for you. For the both of you. Mayu tearfully gives Lissa a hug. Oh, I know you will be a wonderful wife, Lissa. The rest of our colleagues rush up to us and congratulate us on the joyous occasion. Wow, Flare, I can't believe you did all of this for me. What can I say? I wanted to make this a memorable occasion. Plus, although I know how much you like flowers and chocolates, I want to prove that I'm willing to give you something that makes every other gift pale in comparison. My life. Nah. I embrace Lissa as tears dribble down her cheeks in this heartfelt moment. Nah. This is like the most wonderful moment that could ever occur. I stand next to my beautiful wife to be at the altar. Of course she looks absolutely stunning in her wedding gown. Aphrodite herself would be jealous. We show our vows and exchange rings. I believe Aphrodite was a goddess or something. Then the officiant announces our marriage, and Lissa and I lean in to kiss, pouring all of our love for each other into this single action. From this day forward, Flare, you are the only one I will ever love. You're the only one I've ever loved, Lissa, and I promise that will never change. Things aren't always perfect, but part of falling in love with someone is accepting their flaws and learning to appreciate their flaws. Lissa wants the best for herself and those around her, and I want to be the one who ensures that her dream comes true. After all, the achievements are working now! Isn't that great? Or just one of them at least. After all, mine already has. I've married my first love and committed to a bright and happy future. Hold on. Have they announced anything on Steam? They haven't announced anything. Like, I'm looking and there's no news. It must be that most of the achievements don't work. Ooh. Pressing enter twice. Lissa, my childhood friend. Trustworthy confidant. Manager, and now my lovely wife. It's been one whole year since we moved in and began our new life together. At home, we take turns doing chores, and at least one day every weekend, we make an effort to go out on a date. At work, on the other hand, nothing has changed. Lissa is still as ambitious as ever, always working to finish game projects. I diligently write to ensure that we meet our deadlines. My life may be simple, but it's a great one, and my marriage with Lissa is certainly heading in the right direction. After finishing up the last line of my latest script drift, I head into the lunchroom as ordered by Lissa. When I walk in, I find every single staff member gathered around the dining table, a small cake sitting in the centre. I greet the people standing near the door while I inch close to Mayu and Lissa, who are hanging out by the sink. Ah, Flare is finally here. Mayu, now is the time to say goodbye. This may be your last opportunity after all. Okay. The women approach me together. Hey, Lissa, Mayu, this is a nice gathering you have here, but what's the occasion? Is it someone's birthday? Mayu silently shakes her head. I didn't want to tell you straight away, but the news is... Lissa solemnly turns to Mayu. Mayu is moving to Japan. Wait, what? Come again? Japan? Isn't it a bit abrupt to move countries one day in the middle of a new project? Flare, it's good for you to be skeptical, but now is not the time for that. Why don't you explain the situation yourself, Mayu? The brunette finally steps forward wearing an awkward grin. I want to explore more of my past. I want to see the place where my parents grew up. There's so much about myself I just don't know. Oh, maybe I was a little hasty with my words earlier. I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. Everyone will miss you, Mayu. Whenever you decide to return, remember that you'll always have a home here. I will. Lissa looks down and strokes her chin pensively. To think that this is the last time the three of us will be able to get together for quite some time. Quite a while. So much has happened this past year. I remember Mayu tripping and spilling her ramen like it was yesterday. It was tense at the time, but now it's kind of surprisingly Mayu also chuckles over the embarrassing memory. But ramen, huh? Hehe. There'll be plenty of that where I'm going. I'll fondly remember all the time we spent together, Mayu. Alexa's already left for a new job, and now it's your turn to move. My wife begins to get all teary-eyed. Don't forget, Lissa. I'm just happy that I can move you in this way. I'll never forget about you. Without any prompting, Lissa holds my hand as she already understands how my insecure mind works. After a few hours of sharing memories over cake, the guest of honor gives us her final regards. Goodbye, Lissa. Flare. Thank you for everything. Mayu presents with a deep bow. See you, Mayu. I wish you well. Aww. That's the best moment in the game. No, not the best, but the most adorable. Before a brunette can step out of the door, Lissa rushes over and gives her a long, heartwarming embrace. Remember to call us whenever you can. Be good now, Mayu. Aww. Mayu happily nods as she leaves for the stairwell. After caroling the rest of the employees out of the building, Lissa and I walk home together hand in hand. Are you sure you're okay with everyone moving away? You're silly, you know that. As long as you're beside me, I'll be just fine. I'm used to having friends and colleagues leave right and left. In fact, way back when I moved away from school, I was sure we would never meet again. As it turns out, the world has some mysterious ways of bringing people together again when you need them most. Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does feel that way sometimes. Besides, if things get too quiet with only the two of us, we always have other options. Other options? What do you mean? Lissa squeezes my hand together. What do you think about having a baby together, Flare? I think you'll make a good mother. Is that what you mean? Woman gives me the concerned expression I've become all too familiar with. I want you to know whether you want to have children together or not. Whether you'd like to start a family together. Personally, I don't think I'm ready, but this is for Lissa after all. To be honest, I'm scared I won't be a great parent, but I do want to start a family with you. There's no doubt about that. I'm so happy to hear that. Don't worry, I'll be here to help you if things ever go away. Our way? We are a team after all, are we not? Yeah, you're right. We can work it out together. I love you, Lissa. I love you too, Flare. When we arrive at the doorstep to our apartment, we kiss and reaffirm our love for one another again. Whoo-wee! That's the 3 best endings we can get. We moved to Japan with Mayu, we lived together with Alexis, and now we're married and having a family with Lissa. But what about the other option? What to do here? Ask Lissa to stay. Wait, Lissa, please, don't go, stay here. She abruptly turns away from me, scowling. No, you're too unsure of yourself, Flare. It was only a one-night stand, okay? Don't ever think it. But didn't you say... I apologise, but no. I regret that my words confused you, but please, forget about everything that happened that night. Nothing will ever happen between us again. Lissa folds her arms over her chest and stares at the floor with dissatisfaction. I can't believe I was ever so naive. Without another word, she leaves my apartment, slamming the door on her way out. Oh dear. The next time I return to work, no more strange thoughts about Lissa creep into my mind. Mayu and Alexis are following Lissa around near her office, with 3 of them talking amongst themselves. I skip over to see what's going on. Good morning, guys. Fancy seeing you all in one place. I look at Lissa. She appears better composed than last night, yet, disturbingly, there's a dark shadow cast over her face. Flare, how good of you to join us. We missed you yesterday. I glance over to Alexis and Mayu, but neither of them acknowledges me. Instead, keeping their attention fixated on Lissa. There's no need to worry about anything, regardless of what they are. I will always take care of your troubles. Oh, what? What the heck is with those soulless eyes? Again? Wrapping me in a tight embrace. You are mine, always and forever, my dear Flare. Okay. Then she pulls back. Alexis, Mayu, now that Flare is here, I will divide the tasks of the post-release campaign amongst everyone. Each of you are to diligently work on your assignment for the remainder of the day. Lissa suddenly glows at all three of us. Refusal or procrastination will not be tolerated. You do not wish to face the consequences. Are we clear? Understood. You've got it, boss. Flare? Yes, of course. Good. The division of work will be as follows. It's disheartening to see Lissa this way, to know that she'll always feel the need to control us because she doesn't trust them to remain loyal to her on their own. At the same time, once she's caught someone in a seductive web, she'll never let them go. That includes myself. I'll eternally be trapped within her grasp, always pinning after a friendship that will never be whole again. Entangled. However, it's my fault that things have come to this, so I'll accept reality for what it is. From now on, every single day, I'll own up to my failure and give Lissa exactly what she wants. Ever her faithful lapdog. Let's see. See me as an adult. Okay. Look, Lissa, enough is enough. Woman turns back around to face me. I don't want you to keep babying me like I have no idea what I'm doing. I want you to see me as a man, and as a person worthy of respect. Don't I deserve that much? If that's what you want, you'll have to prove yourself worthy of it. How? And why? Haven't I already done that? Why do you act like my babysitter one more? I'm a babysitter one minute, my childhood friend with ambitious dreams the next, and then this detached woman who doesn't care about anything. Honestly, I don't even know who you are anymore, Lissa. I'm not sure if it's because you're too wrapped up in your image as a manager, or if it has to do with you wanting to date me, or both. Whichever it is, I'm not the kid you used to look after yesterday. Weren't you the one who points out that we aren't the kids we used to be? Lissa holds her face in her hands, exasperated. I understand where you're coming from, Flare. I honestly do. However, I'll only take you seriously on the condition that you behave yourself. No matter how much you may complain about it, you must prove yourself. That means keeping our relationship a secret at work. You'll have to be my good obedient worker during the day. Sure, I'll behave. In private, you'll do whatever I say, though. Does that sound fair? As fair as it can be, I suppose. Now, what do you want me to do? Should I leave, or do you have something else in mind for me? Come closer. Without a single question, she does as I ask. I lift her into my arms, bridal style. Oh, Flare, how romantic. Ah, sounds good. Of course. Please come to work today, Macy, the chanting ward for me. Okay, we're already doing that. I need to ensure that I don't skip out on work if I want to impress her as a man. Thanks, I'll keep that in mind for next time. Anytime, Flare. If you have any other problems, you know who to find. Yep, sounds good. So you're not going to ask for help with your work today? Nah. Grilled harasu. I'll have a harasu, please. Okay, coming right up. I head over to the table where the team is already situated. We'll talk amongst ourselves for the time being. After a half hour later, our food arrives. Surprisingly, I find 2 orders of grilled harasu on the table. Mayu moves 1 plate in front of herself. It looks like we've both got her harasu. The brunette nods. I'd be careful if I were you, Flare. She might have a crush on you. Mayu suddenly shakes her head in frustration, nearly throwing her food onto the floor as she awkwardly grabs her plate, moving to stand up. Fortunately, Lissa stops her before things get out of hand. At the very least, I'm glad you're eating more than just ramen. It's a notable improvement in your diet. Yes. Strangely, Mayu quickly eats half of her food before getting up to leave, not so much as caring about her leftovers. Alexis, on the other hand, gets back in line to order something else, even though she still hasn't finished her first dish. With no distractions or other co-workers in sight, Lissa leans over in my ear. I'm glad that you're such a good influence on Mayu. Hehehe. What do you mean by that? Nothing happened. Nothing happened between us. A smile slowly breaks onto the woman's lips, but she swiftly returns to her initial position, feigning ignoring me. Oh man, I wish I had a lifetime supply of Uganda Don. Wouldn't it be so nice, Flare? I don't know about that. It sounds gross. Eating it 2 times a week is plenty if you'd ask me. I agree with Flare. That doesn't sound healthy either. No, whatever. I think it'd be the bee's knees. She doesn't care about her health, let's just say that. An hour later, we finish our respective meals. Lunchtime soon comes to an end. We all return to the office. Okie dokie. Later in the day, I find Lissa holed up in her office, typing away as she contacts various game. I don't know if I want to accept any of this. I thought I told you to treat me like a man. No, Flare. Need I remind you of our rule? We agreed that you would submit to me at the office, and at home, I would submit to you. You will accept everything I've done for you, unless you don't want to be with me anymore. No, that's not what I meant at all. I just wish you would treat me better. Oh dear, the woman's eyes flare with rage. Don't you dare say that I haven't treated you in the best possible way again. Okay, I'm sorry. That was poor wording on my part. Good. Now, let's not say such silly things anymore. Maybe I should speak up less often. It's quite frightening to see Lissa go don't know how to pronounce that word like that. Well, that's all I have for you. Enjoy the flowers and chocolate. I'll see you tomorrow. No. But, thinking it over, I'm beginning to understand how Lissa might have felt. Her life has been rough. She was abandoned by her family, with people who raised her. In a way, I'm her last connection to her hometown. While I won't judge you, whatever you choose to do, as my girlfriend, you'll have my unconditional support. But please, I don't want to be a part of this. I just can't get into having people watch us do it. It's too gross, too shameful. Lissa takes off her mask and crosses her arms over her chest. I respect your decision, although I'm disappointed in it. If it weren't okay, I probably would have kicked you out and took care of myself. I'll pull her closer. Maybe we can meet in the middle? Perhaps we can. Okay, no, this is not what I was thinking. Hey, be gentle. No, give it to me as hard as you can. Don't ruin this for me more than you already have, please. Yes. Days after the heated incident in Lissa's office, I ponder what it means to have a... Okay. For starters, it suggests that she's too attached with people who watch her online is completely okay with that. I can't find satisfaction in knowing that thousands of men watched her... Okay. It's psychological theft of the highest order. A complete hijacking of what's supposed to be my... Okay. And I'm fully aware that the mental burden will only become more unbearable the further Lissa continues down this path. Lissa, can you maybe try doing something else? If you feel like that, you don't have to get on webcam. We could make recordings of our own just for 2 of us to watch. Doesn't that sound fun? No. To be frank, that isn't something I'm willing to give up. It's not the same as creating videos for the sake of it. It's a lifestyle that I'm embraced to the very core. If you don't believe it's something you can handle anymore, perhaps we should break up. I don't want to have to do that, but there's just no way I could leave you, Lissa. Is there another way? We have to be able to meet in the middle of this again. No, not on this, Flare. We have to end it here, whether you like it or not. I've greatly enjoyed our time together. It was short and sweet. I'll always think fondly of you and our relationship. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the office. Let me know if you need anything else. Just like that. Without even waiting to hear my response, the woman leaves the room. I fall to the floor, feeling like my heart has been torn into a million little pieces. Of course, Lissa's love for that overtook her feelings for me. I saw this coming from a mile away. My mind frantically catches an endless cycle of, what if I'd done this differently? And, if only I'd done that. Don't worry about that. You dodged a bullet, my friend. After the breakup, my nights are completely in ruin. Every day after work, I visit a certain... do that in a search bar, scroll through the account reviews, memorize the page numbers, and watch them over and over again, sometimes even lurk in a... These videos and live shows are my only refuge, the only things that keep me sane. Lissa is like an addiction that I can't kick. Obsession, yes. If there's one thing that's certain, it's the fact that I'll never stop watching the woman I fell in love with. Okay, the whole world to see. What about this very, very long option? I'll have that, please. Okay, coming right up. I head over to the table where the team is situated and we talk amongst ourselves for the time being. Whoa, after a half hour later our food arrives. The crew gets their individual dishes while at the centre there are 3 dishes just for me. Oh wow, Flare, you ordered a ton of food. Yeah, I just felt like for some reason I'm feeling pretty hungry today. Oh, hungry you say? Interesting. We dine in relative silence, and I quickly began to feel full. Coincidentally, Alexis decides to eat lightly today. I don't know if I can take another bite. Seriously, what are you going to do with all that food? I guess you can have some of it. Alexis grabs me by the arm, grinning from cheek to cheek. Oh, Flare, how sweet of you. I'll gladly take some of your hands. The redhead glares at Lissa, practically rubbing the fact that I'm treating her well in the other woman's face. Oh dear. In response, Lissa deliberately ignores me and continues minding her own business, quickly eating. Several minutes later, she abruptly gets up without a word and leaves the office. I try not to overthink it, instead racking my brain for a topic of discussion. How's the food? Alexis doesn't care to respond. Equally as abrupt as Lissa, she grabs one of her food containers, fills it with a little of everything, and then starts through a staircase. Thanks for the grub. Ciao. A lot of the food remains untouched. I look at Lissa Mai to see whether she's about to leave as well. She quietly stares at the table for a long moment. Then on a whim, she grabs both our leftovers and throws them into the garbage. Without much else to do, I leave with Mayu for the office and simply return to my desk. The office works silently for the remainder of the afternoon, with tense atmosphere preventing any meaningful conversation. Yeah, that's just not happening. The reason Lissa's life went off track wasn't because her parents were too judgmental, it was because she became obsessed with that. Obsessed with the idea of being lusted after. Lissa, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with this. What do you mean? No, let me reword that. I want nothing to do with you. We're over. This is an absolute travesty. Seriously, Flare, you're breaking up with me? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, and I won't take no for an answer. I can't believe you invited me to have that for your followers, or whatever you call them during the workday. I mean, what the hell, Lissa? Everything about you is a lie, a complete and utter lie. Your whole spiel about romance and personal success was founded on nothing but selfish, filthy, base desires. Are you nuts? Do you honestly think I'd agree to that? Open your goddamn eyes. Your mind is so twisted that you probably don't even realise how self-centered you are. A few tears trickled down my cheeks. I never realised I could feel so much pain. I've always admired you, Lissa. Did you realise that? What the hell? Look at you now. You pale in comparison to the person I once knew, to the woman I fell in love with. Ever as I honestly express my feelings, Lissa shows no concerns for me whatsoever. I'm probably nothing more than an object for her of desire to her. Flare, there's still time. You don't have to make this any harder on yourself. The show is only scheduled to begin in a few minutes. You want me on camera that badly? Well, I'm quitting. By the way, I'm not your little worker, your plaything, or whatever else trashy nickname you so unaffectionately call me. I'm my own man. I storm out of my office and frantically grab my belongings from my desk. Flare, is something the matter? Oh yes, why don't you check up on our wonderful boss Lissa? I'm sure she'll impress the ever-living daylights out of you. Anyway, I'm going. I'm quitting. I'm done. I'm DONE. I turn off my computer, rip up my notes, and cram every desk decoration into my backpack. Well, if you really are going, feel free to call me if you ever need anything. Thanks, I appreciate it. I don't know if I'll ever see you again, so goodbye. Please take care of yourself. Alexis nods sadly. See you later, Flare. It's been nice having you around. Likewise. A few days passed and nothing changes. My life is at a standstill. All of Lissa's text messages, her phone number, the notes that she sometimes left in my fridge, I threw them all away. In an attempt to shake off these residue feelings of hurt, I run to my fridge, but it's empty. I stumble out of the door and onto the streets, dejectedly strolling to the nearest convenience store. I walk in and buy what I need: some pasta, tomato sauce, and frozen meatballs. It isn't much, but I also don't have a huge appetite to begin with. On the way back, I spot Mayu and Alexis coming my way from a street corner near the studio. I'm not sure whether I'm happy or stressed out to see them. It's hard to move on when Lissa and her co-workers are still in the area. Ecstatic to see me, Alexis skips over while Mayu trails behind. Flare, it's so good to see you. How have you been? It's feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Alexis, it's only been a few days. But it feels much longer. We miss you at the studio, you know. Mayu finally catches up to us. Hi, Flare. Hey, Mayu. You guys seem to be doing fine. That's good to see. You think so? Honestly, it feels pretty different without you at the office. Kind of feels like a family member died or something. It just doesn't sit right in my stomach, you know. Oh, what the... Okay, what's with that glare for, Mayu? Mayu suddenly stares me straight in the eyes, stealing my gaze. Family? Yes. Flare is like family. Okay. Well, if you don't mind, I'm not feeling at the best at the moment, so I'm going to head off. Although I'm happy to see the women, I'm not ready to face them yet either. I'm sure they'll interrogate me about what happened on Lissa's behalf. As I turn the opposite direction, Alexis calls out to me. Wait a sec, Flare, we need to talk to you. It's really, really urgent. Please, we need you to come with us right away. I can't help but worry that Lissa did something to herself after I rejected her. All those years ago, she had a terrible breakdown after breaking up with her previous exes. She was left bedridden and skipped school for days on end. As long as this is okay. Is she? Right? Just come with us, you can see for yourself. I follow the women who accompany me by walking at my sides. I can't help but feel that they're carefully watching every move. Let's go this way, it's a shortcut to a bar. They escort me to an alleyway hidden between two buildings. We're going to a bar. Is this okay? We can discuss that more in private. Right, there's only so much we can talk about in public. I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're getting at. I thought you said we're going to see Lissa ourselves. You still haven't told me whether or not she's okay either. You always think about Lissa, even after you betrayed her? How typical of you. Betrayed her? I broke up with her because she wanted me to do something off the wall crazy. Now that I think about it, you used to live with her, didn't you? You should know about all what she's into. You know what? I take back that blank about talking in private. You're annoying. You're a simple-minded... Oh, gosh. Flipping his lips. Well, let's see you talk your way out of this. The redhead gestures at Mayu. Her suddenly dashes towards me with, whoa. How dare you break Lissa's heart? What are you doing? I plant my back against the wall in panic, then try to escape by slipping past the woman, even though this space is so narrow. Yeah, nice try, but you can't run away from us. Alexis punches me on the stomach several times, but blows so powerful that I kneel over. Oof, blank. Mayu joins in, hitting me on the face before pulling out a knife and oh gosh. So basically this is a rehearsal of the two bad endings that we get on their individual routes. Sorry. Blah. For ruining Lissa's life, you'll never talk ever again. When I fall to the ground, Mayu straddles me and stabs randomly as my body slowly turns numb. Just disappear already. I hate you, Flare. I hate you. I hate you. Thank God he's finally shut up. Lissa will be so proud of us. Avenged. My vision fades as the women walk off into the city, leaving me for dead. And that is all there is to show in this tale. So, between the starting of this recording and some point during halfway through the recording, the team that's made this game, or the people behind the Steam sort of stuff for this game, must have updated it so that achievements are now possible. I'm not sure, but there are 3 more endings left to get, and I will be presenting them in the next and final video where I'll just be showcasing all of the endings themselves of the game. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you all in the next and final time of our lovely escape. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.